What's going on, guys? My name is Ted, bringing you all a video today on the international versions of the Samsung Galaxy Note 2 versus the Samsung Galaxy S3. These are two fantastic devices, top-of-the-line devices for Samsung, and I want to go over a few of the hardware as well as software specs between the two devices to hopefully give you guys a better idea of which one you should go out and purchase. Now, a big distinction here is I'm comparing the international versions of these two devices. The American versions are a bit different, so if you're over here in America, click the link down below. I'll have a video posted down there of the American versions and how they're a little bit different as well. But this is the international version, so let's get into it. Let's compare the hardware and software specs of these two devices. So starting off with the operating system, the Galaxy Note 2 comes with Android 4.1.1, which is Android Jelly Bean. It's the most current version of Android available right now, and it's the top-of-the-line version of Android. It looks fantastic. It's very, very smooth, and it comes with a lot of software features that you just won't find in Android 4.0.4, which is Samsung Galaxy S3's operating system. Samsung Galaxy S3 is one OS old. It's 4.0.4, which they will be upgrading to Android Jelly Bean soon, but you never really know how soon that'll be because they've been saying we're going to get an upgrade to Android 4.1 for quite a while now, and they never do upgrade us. So I don't know. If you want to take your chances and wait for that latest operating system, you can go with the Galaxy S3, but if you want to have the latest and greatest right now, you're going to have to stick with the Galaxy Note 2. Moving on to screen size, this is a huge determining factor between the two phones. The Galaxy Note 2 comes with a 5.55-inch Super AME LED screen, which is 1,280 by 720 pixels at 267 pixels per inch. This is fantastic. This is the biggest screen we've ever seen in any smartphone to date. This is absolutely a massive screen, and I got big thumbs. Typing on a smaller screen is really difficult for me, so having a 5.5-inch screen is going to make it a lot easier. Moving on to the Galaxy S3 for comparison, the Galaxy S3 comes with a 4.8-inch screen, also at 1280 by 720p, and this is going to be a 306 pixel per inch ratio. So it's a smaller screen, just as many pixels, a little bit denser pixel ratio because it's a smaller screen with the same number of pixels, but it's going to be a much crisper screen versus the Galaxy Note 2 is going to have a much bigger screen. So it's really a trade-off there, whether you want a really big screen or a really crisp screen. That's kind of the way it is for the iPhone. The iPhone's got a really crisp display, but also a really small display, so it really depends what you want there. Moving on to processor, this is another vast improvement that the Galaxy Note 2 has made. The Galaxy Note 2 is now coming with a 1.6 GHz quad-core Exynos processor, as opposed to the Galaxy S3 is coming with only a 1.4 GHz quad-core Exynos processor. So you get a 0.2 extra gigahertz of processing speed, which might not seem like a lot, but that's actually a very vast improvement. It's definitely a good thing, and the faster your device is, all around is going to make it a much smoother device, as well as Android 4.1 Jelly Bean makes your device even smoother on top of that. So you're going to notice a lot of just absolutely buttery smooth interfaces, slides, emotions, any sort of animation on your screen, as well as your graphics and everything is just going to run fantastically smooth. Moving on to your RAM and your ROM, the Galaxy Note 2 is coming with 2 GB of RAM, as well as 16, 32, or 64 GB of memory, as well as an SD. Moving on to your RAM and your ROM, the Galaxy Note 2 is coming with 2 GB stock of RAM, which is your random access memory. This is good for like multitasking and such, because you can open up apps that have been really, really old, maybe a couple days old. You don't have to actually refresh them. You can press your little multitasking button, and then you can click on them, and they're going to be there waiting for you in the random access memory. This is really, really cool, and 2 GB is a ton of random access memory. As far as the ROM goes for your Galaxy Note 2, you're going to come with 16, 32, or 64 GB of ROM, depending on how much you want to pay for. So I think it's gonna be like $50 per upgrade. So if you want, 64 GB as opposed to 16, it's probably gonna cost you an extra $100. Or you have the option to have a micro SD card. It has a micro SD card slot, which is very, very handy. And if you want to, you can add an extra 64 GB of micro SD card slot for about a third the price, which I don't know why anyone would buy internal phone storage when they just go out and buy a micro SD card. I think it's a lot better of a deal for the micro SD card personally. This compared to the Galaxy S3, which is 1 GB of RAM, which is half the amount of RAM. Not as much multitasking going on in the international version of the Galaxy S3 as opposed to the Note 2. So if that's something you're really, really big on, if you just really like multitasking, then you're not going to find it as easy to do on the Galaxy S3 as it is on the Galaxy Note 2. The Galaxy S3 also doesn't have nearly as many options for your memory, so you're coming with 16 or 32 GB. There's no option for that 64 GB Galaxy S3. But you can buy a 64 GB micro SD card as well for your Galaxy S3, boosting your total memory up to about 100 GB if you absolutely need it. I don't think anyone would ever need that much memory, but if you absolutely do need 100 GB, you can still do it on the Galaxy S3, but you can't get up to 130 like you can get on the Galaxy Note 2, so that's one of the trade-offs there as well. As far as the cameras go for these two devices, they both come with a rear-facing camera of 8 megapixels at 1080p recording and a 1.9 megapixel front-facing camera at 720p recording. They're both identical cameras, so there's really no trade-off for either devices. Battery life is another huge buff the Note 2 has gotten. Because of the bigger screen, it's definitely going to need a bigger battery, but they've gone a little overboard with this, which is awesome because bigger batteries are always better. It's just more battery life. And they're giving you a 3,100 milliamp hour battery, which is absolutely fantastic. That's absolutely amazing. That's something that the Droid Razr Max has, and they were going on and on about their battery life. This phone, it just has it. They don't even really go on and on about it. It's just there, and it's absolutely fantastic. 3,100 milliamp hours is going to do more than enough battery life. As opposed to the Galaxy S3, which only comes with 2,100 milliamp hour battery, you're going to notice that the Galaxy S3 is not going to last nearly as long. Even though it's got a smaller screen, they're still running both the same number of pixels, and your screen is what uses up the majority of your battery life. So with having the same number of pixels in a smaller device with a smaller battery, the Galaxy S3 is just not going to have the longevity that the Galaxy Note 2 will have as far as battery life goes. So that's something that's really important to you. You're definitely going to want to stick with the Galaxy Note 2. As far as the cost goes, the cost varies for the Galaxy Note 2. It hasn't been announced yet for off-contract prices, which is what I like to go for, because the on-contract prices are always going to vary based on carrier. Each carrier is going to have a little bit different prices based on what sort of plan you get or if you have an upgrade available. And there's no announced off-contract price for the Galaxy Note 2 as of yet, so I really can't give you guys a fair warning for that one. But I do know that the Galaxy S3 is around 400 British pounds for that device off contract. So if that's something that's a little over your price range, you're probably not going to get either of these devices, because I don't think the Galaxy Note 2 is going to be any cheaper than that. It definitely won't be, at least for the next few months. But as of the Galaxy S3 being a few months old right now, you're going to get it for around 400 British pounds if you go on eBay or go online somewhere, or you can buy directly from your carrier off contract for around the same price. As far as release dates goes, your Galaxy Note 2 is going to be released on October 1st for any UK members, and probably later on in November for the rest of the world. So if you're not seeing it released in your country soon, it'll be released there shortly. I think South Korea already has it. UK is going to get it on October 1st, and the rest of the world later on in November, hopefully. And as far as the Galaxy S3, it's already out. Everyone's got it. It's been out for a few months now, so if you want that phone, and if you think it's the device for you, go out and get it right now, because it's fantastic. I have it. I love it. It's absolutely fantastic. As far as one more other note I'll make, the Galaxy Note 2 comes with an S Pen, which is very, very nice. It's like a stylus for your device, and it's a whole user interface in itself. They've got a lot of apps designed specifically for this S Pen. If you like typing with it, you can do that. Drawing, anything like that is really, really handy with your S Pen. So that's one feature that the Galaxy Note 2 has over the Galaxy S3. The Galaxy S3 does not have that, but I think you can go out and buy one for a few dollars. I think it's like $50 or $60, which is probably like 40 British pounds for a very high-end S Pen like you're going to find on the Galaxy Note 2. So that's something that you have an option of as well. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. I hope I covered everything. I really think I did. I own the Galaxy S3, so I'm not talking out my ass. I really do love this device, and they're both fantastic devices. I'll be getting the Note 2 as soon as I can over here in America. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. I hope you guys learned something new. If you did, be sure to subscribe. I post a lot of Android-related content news, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.